He's getting older.
You gotta be bleeping me!
Oh, hit the volume button!
But not wiser.
That is totally absurd!
This is The Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to The Lefty Show. I am your host, Lefty. Glad to be here with all of you today, Wednesday, the 12th of November in the year of our Spaghetti Monster 2014. Welcome one, welcome all to The Lefty Show, episode number 111. Hope to put on a good show for you guys today. I thank you all for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can find the show in its YouTube formation. Thank you to everybody that has been following me on Twitter at Lefty643 is where you can do that. And a big thanks to everybody that has been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. And a big heartfelt thank you to everybody that has been sharing the show with friends, family, and co-workers. Easier to do now. We are available wherever you get your podcasts in our podcast formation. Just search The Lefty Show wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, tablet, or mobile device. Android, iOS, it does not matter. Search The Lefty Show, and you will be sure to find us there. Subscribe, download all the episodes at your leisure, and then share the show with your most beloved peeps. Your peeps! I don't know if you have peeps. Do you have peeps? Do we still have peeps anymore? Is that what we do? Do we have peeps in our society today? I don't know. I want peeps. I need peeps. How do I get peeps? How do I go about getting myself peeps? Don't know. Just idiot. Dog barking. Stupid dog. Anyway, apologize that this is the first episode of the week all the way into Wednesday. Just getting to the first episode of the week. On Monday, I woke up and I couldn't walk. I could barely walk. Same goes, and I couldn't turn my head. My neck was all, I don't know, maybe I strained something in my sleep. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. It hurts all the time when I do stuff, and it's terrible and all that. And I just, I didn't really feel like doing the show, because I couldn't really sit in any kind of position for a long period of time. I would have to shift, get up and move, walk around, stretch. You know, I take a shower, like a long ass hot shower, a couple of times, just to try to loosen things up, and just wasn't feeling up to do the show. And then on Tuesday, yesterday, I had an appointment. Like, ugh. Got to go get this checked out. No, but I was cutting a professional commercial demo for voiceover work. I've been doing some freelance stuff here and there, and decided that, it's probably up in time to try to get a commercial demo professionally produced, because I don't know what I'm doing. I send people the show, like, here you go, listen to me talk. Here's proof of me talking. But I figured it was high time that I get somebody else who knows what they're doing, because me, buffoon, just a big dumb dope. And I figured it was time to tell somebody else, give them money, and say, hey, one, can I do this? And they said yes. That was a couple weeks ago, and I was like, do you think I have a spot in this business? And did some work, and they were like, oh yeah. And then they were like, you need a commercial demo. And I decided it was high time to get that done, just so I can try to get like an agent or representation of some kind. I don't know what that all is. And then start actually doing actual work instead of, I don't know, weird recording stuff. And just start actually doing like, hey, somebody tells me that other people, want me to work for them. And then I do this and that, and I record something for them. So that's what I was doing yesterday. Some post-YouTube preparations. And it went well. It went really well. I had a good time in the studio, and got some hot stuff put down on ye old tracks. Cut a demo, even though you don't really cut a demo anymore, because you're not cutting into a disc. It's just electrons being moved around and binary code, saving digital representations of your voice. Very little of it is analog anymore. And I thought I could, maybe some people, I got stuff here. Hold on. It's a mess. I really need to clean this up. This is embarrassing. You can't even see it. That's how bad it is. I got some stuff here. Oh, no, it's not on this sheet. Hold on. I got stuff. I've got stuff for you. Let me go through my files. This is riveting radio, I know. Gotta find it. Where the hell is it? What would it start with? What would I start the file name with? Would it be V for voiceover? There we go. Here we go. So just so some of you may think like, oh, well, cracker ass bitch doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't know what he's doing. This is voiceover. Not this. This isn't voiceover. I mean, it technically is kind of voiceover, but this is like what I would be doing. This is what I do, and this is what what the commercial professional demo will help sell me to like actual big name corporations. And I'm choosing 1-800-COLLECT, a now defunct. Is it defunct? Is 1-800-COLLECT defunct? Do people still make collect calls? Do people even know that landlines exist anymore? I mean, collect calls used to be a thing from like payphones. If you found yourself at a payphone, you don't have any money on you, all right, you make a collect call. But where are payphones anymore? Does anybody know what a payphone even is? Oh, and especially in today's like hypersensitive world of ew, germs. Payphones used to be a thing, and you used to dial collect. And there used to be weird services that would say like, no, dial collect with us because we dial collect. It's basically the same, but there was like 1-800-COLLECT. And then, what were some of the other 1-800? 1010-220. Oh, God, I remember 1010-220. George Carlin actually hawked for them for a bit. But this is 1-800-COLLECT. We can do a few different, and you can do a few different stuff. You can do, like, really into it guy. Like, still dialing 0 to call people collect? Stop. It's expensive. Instead, dial 1-800-COLLECT. Dialing 1-800-COLLECT instead of 0 saves the people you call up to 44%. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT, follow the simple instructions, and your call will go through in seconds. Calling home? Save yourself money. 1-800-COLLECT. Dial it today. And scene. Or you could go a little bit more personal with it. A little bit more like, I'm your friend. I'm your buddy. I'm trying to help you save money. Why I have a friend who's dialing collect from a payphone in the year 2014, I don't know. I need to get myself some better friends. And then you can kind of infuse that into the character, that little like self-awareness, like, why am I your friend? Still dialing 0 to... and stumbles are part of the business, kids. Still dialing 0 to call people collect? Stop. It's expensive. Instead, dial 1-800-COLLECT. Dialing 1-800-COLLECT instead of 0 saves the people you call up to 44%. Just dial 1-800-COLLECT. Follow the simple instructions, and your call will go through in seconds. Calling home? Save yourself money. 1-800-COLLECT. Dial it today. Scene. That's the kind of stuff I'll be doing, and that's why there was not a show yesterday. And I don't know if that's any good. There was got a guy. Everybody's got to have a guy, right? Got a guy who has been an industry mainstay for many, many, many years in Chicago, and met up with him and did some work, and he was, a supposedly not interested third party, even though I was cutting him a check, who said, yeah, you have a spot in this business, and you should be playing with the big dogs and doing work, and let's produce a demo, and blah, 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 blah. So a couple of weeks here, hopefully, should be dispatching some emails and letters and stuff to talent agencies, trying to find some representation and then trying to find some work. And on that note, I want to just bitch for a moment, okay? We're in 2014, okay? 2014. When was the last time you touched a CD? When was the last time? When was the last time you bought a CD? When was the last time you burned a CD? When was the last time you asked somebody for media on a CD? When was the last time? Do you know? I don't even know. I burned CDs in college in 2006. And even then that was archaic, because then there were just to play on the car rides to and from school and stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I need CDs because I don't have one of those decks that have an auxiliary in. And even then, those were a thing so that you could hook up your iPod or whatever. That was in 2006. That's 8 years ago. And I was still the fool. Like, hey, bro, you got any blank CDs I can borrow? Who does that anymore? There are talent agencies who represent big name people. There's a lot of, and trust me, and this may not be something you realize, but there's a lot of money in voiceover work. There's a lot. Because every commercial you see, every single one, every single commercial you see on TV, every single commercial you hear on the radio, everything you see, every movie preview, video game previews, stories, news stories, all of that stuff is voiceover work. There's a ton of it, and there's a lot of money to be made, and there's a lot of money to be made representing people who are good at it. It's the idea. They're like multi-channel networks for YouTube, right? It's a perfect analogy. That's what they do. They're like, we will sell you, not necessarily they sell ads against you, but we will sell you to people, and we will take a cut of the money you generate by your good work. That's what multi-channel networks do. There are agencies in big-ass cities like Chicago, New York, L.A., all throughout the world, because it doesn't change just because you go across the pond or to Europe or somewhere. It doesn't matter. But there are big agencies in America right now, today, the 12th of November, in the year of our spaghetti monster 2014, who will still require you to put your voiceover demo on a CD and mail it to them. They've got email. And what is a demo? It's like a minute, maybe. Some people go for 3 minutes. I'm like, my God, dude, shut up. It's a minute-long audio file. You can attach that to Gmail. You sign up for a Gmail account free, you get 25 gigabytes of space. Oh, no. Put that on a CD and mail it to us. Because here's the worst part. What do you do with that CD? You put it in a computer. Come on. You're not taking your Walkman with you to the gym anymore, are you? Like, oh, well, I got to take this. You got that big old leather binder full of CDs, lugging that bitch around at the gym. Like, well, I'm working out and working. Ugh. Come on. Pull your head out of your ass, lazy bitches. Like, you got a website. Great. But send us your CD demo. Come on. What are you doing? It's ridiculous. And I get it's probably to cut down on stupid submissions. From people who are like, I want to be a voiceover. It's like, dial 1-800-COLLECT. It says you people you call money. It's like, well, okay, you probably shouldn't be in the business, but then just delete it. Doesn't make any sense to be, oh, well, you have to send us your demo on a CD. It's ridiculous. So now I got to jump through all these hoops, all these extra hoops. I got to find blank CDs. I don't have blank CDs. Do you have blank CDs anymore? I don't. I got rid of them. I don't need this crap anymore. Who the hell wants burned CDs for anything? I got to find them. And can you find just one? And that's the worst part. Can you find one blank CD? Find one. Just buy one. Like, I need just one. I need one. That's it. No, you got to buy like 5,000 of them at Office Depot because they got to cover the production of the one that you need. You'll have a stack of them looking like so many donuts for years not using them. Like, oh, well, those are CDs. Oh, do they have anything on them? No, they're blank. Oh, what are you burning on them? Nah, nothing. Well, why do you have them? Well, 6 years ago, I needed one. It's absolutely, positively ridiculous. So be on the lookout for my voice being found in other places that you can't escape soon. You'll be watching TV or something, and you'll see a Totino's commercial. Be like, oh, my God, I know that voice. I know that guy. Maybe you'll hear a movie this summer. I can't do that, though. Yeah, let's see what else we got here. We got Totino's, the kick and taste of buffalo-style chicken rolled into a snackable crust. Totino's should be one of the 4 food groups. The awesome one. Come on, give me money, idiots. And speaking of giving me money, imraising.com/643 Productions is where you can go to do that. It may be that I made a mistake, and I'm going to say it here, mea culpa, and I'm going to say it in the next recording. I labeled, I've got one video out now, the second one going up today, Assassin's Creed Unity, Let's Play. I should really do that. I should Photoshop Dave Chappelle being as Rick James on the Assassin's Creed Unity guy, and call my Let's Play Unity. because that's one of the better quotes of Dave Chappelle does Rick James. That wasn't done to death like, I'm Rick James, bitch. Like, okay, yeah, yeah, I like that part too. It was funny. But Unity, like Charlie Murphy telling the story, like he had a party to sell his new album, Unity, and he punched him in the face. He's like, Unity. That's how whenever I think Assassin's Creed Unity, that's what I think of. But I labeled it. I got it on PlayStation 4, and I've been playing it, having fun. And I read a report from October that said Assassin's Creed on console aims to hit 1080p 60. So I figured, oh, okay, 1080p 60 frames per second. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's good. I'll be able to put that in the tags and in the title and stuff, and people like 60 frames per second. Assassin's Creed is probably going to look amazing in 60 frames per second. It's going to be great. It's good. And I got it on PS4. Well, turns out, despite in October, Ubisoft saying they are targeting 1080p 60 for consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. That's what they're targeting to hit. It came out in November a couple weeks ago that actually it's at 900p 30 frames per second. It's not even 1080. They're like, oh, well, we're targeting 1080p 60. Okay, the game's out. This isn't 60 frames per second. Yeah, we know. It's 900p 30. Like, you couldn't even get 1080 out of it? Come on. And I know that's probably as much of a condemnation of Sony and Microsoft and their choice of handcuffing developers with technology that's already a couple years old, already 3 or 4 years old. The graphics technology in the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, respectively. And they decided, oh no, we're gonna go with the old technology. But I incorrectly labeled my Let's Play as 1080p 60 frames per second, and I incorrectly refer to it in the recording as being 1080p 60 frames per second. I'm still going to render it out at 1080p. It's still going to be, technically speaking, up converted to 1080p, so that's not going to go away. But I do have to admonish myself and apologize for incorrectly referring to it and tagging it as 60 frames per second. I thought it was. And even playing it, I remarked, I'm like, this doesn't look like 60 frames per second to me. This doesn't look like it at all. But it has been my experience that some games don't look like they're playing at 60 frames per second when they actually are. Some games, it's harder to see. Call of Duty, easy to see that it's 60 frames per second. Easy. But other games, NBA 2K15 comes to mind. That's at 60, but it doesn't look like it when you're playing. So I thought, maybe it's just that. So Assassin's Creed is at 900p on next generation consoles. 900p 30 frames per second. That's what they give you.
You gotta be bleeping me.
I'm not, Hawk Harrelson. I am not. I am not, in fact, bleeping you. That's what they did. They were thinking, 1080p 60. We might be able to do it, Johnson. Tell the world 1080p 60 is coming to PlayStation 4 Assassin's Creed Unity. There we go. Oh yeah, oh my god, 1080p 60 is going to be great. Ah, well, 900p 30. 900p 30. Why not just put it in 720? Why not? Just give me 720 60. I'd be happier with Assassin's Creed Unity on my PlayStation 4 at 720p 60 frames per second than it's capped probably at 900p 30. At that point, just go 720 60, man. Come on, what are you doing? Like, oh, well, 900p. Who wants 900p? What is that? It's like a midway point between 720 and 1080. Like, oh, well, 900 is about a thing. Ugh. And some people are saying, well, it's because Assassin's Creed Unity is such a great game. No, they're lazy. I want to say that Ubisoft is lazy. It's poorly optimized. There's probably a lot of power in there. The game probably has the power to be fantastic, but it just looks poorly optimized. And much of the reviews on PlayStation or on PC, excuse me, come to that conclusion. That, yeah, it's a graphically beautiful game and you need a lot of power to run it, but it's still poorly optimized. You still should be able to get more out of Assassin's Creed Unity with less on PC. Because even on PC, the minimum requirement, I believe, is a 600 level video card, a GTX 600 level. Minimum. The recommended is 680. I've got a 680. That's still a $500 video card. If you go to Amazon, you try to find a 680, a GTX 680. Here, let's go to Amazon right now and go GTX 680. God, I want a 980 so bad. And that's what we're going to get to in a bit. $589 is the going price on Amazon right now. Now, it's not by Amazon, so who knows? But for a 2 gigabyte 680 is $589. And that's what they recommend for Unity. And even then, if you look at the graphical benchmarks, you need a 980 to average 60 frames per second on high settings. High! You need a 980. The 680, you can go to medium and maybe you'll get 60. Maybe. If you turn off shadows and you screw around with aliasing a little bit, you may be able to squeeze 60 frames per second out of a 680. Maybe. At 1920 by 1080. You're not doing any better than that unless you go up to a 980. So, imraising.com/643 Productions is where you can go. Now, I still want to make here's the thing. It's not like I'm like, oh, I want a GTX 980. I mean, I do, but I've already bought the game on PS4, and I want to continue a Let's Play in 60 frames per second because screw it. You know, YouTube gives the functionality. I want to use it, and I'm not going to get 60 frames per second from the PS4, but it might be hard to justify buying Assassin's Creed Unity a second time on Steam. So let me know what you guys think. You can hit me up on Twitter, and if you want to help out the cause, imraising.com/643 Productions. And that, you know, it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. 900p should not be a thing on next generation consoles. It should not be. If you are going to spend $400, $350, I guess now with the Xbox One price cut. I'm assuming that Sony is going to for the holiday season, there's going to be a similar price cut for the PS4. If you are spending $400 of your hard-earned money, 900p should not be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. No, don't even come at me with that. Don't even come at me with, oh, it's new. No, F that. For $450, you can get a PC that'll do 1080 30 on some games. It's not going to be a super duper rig. Don't let anybody tell you others like, oh my God, you can get a PC that kills that. No. You'll be at 1080p 30. It'll probably be as though the game was locked at 30 frames per second. That's probably the best you could do for $450. And you know, is that machine expandable? Because you probably had to go with a micro ATX motherboard. I don't know. You know, how much power, what kind of power supply you got in there? You probably got a 500, 400 watt maybe. Bad. But you still can, despite what PC extremists will say, like, oh, there are $400 PCs that kick the crap out of consoles. Yeah, but don't let them tell you that you're going to be 1080p 60 gaming Battlefield 4 on Ultra. That ain't happening. You'll be 1080p 30 on medium, like a medium-low mixture. Like I'm talking about cooking all of a sudden. No, you're cooking on medium high for a bit. And it seems to me that shouldn't be. Something's wrong. If on your console, the hardware that you bought en masse, you get a price cut because you buy so much. Think about how many GPUs Sony and Microsoft respectively had to buy for the PS4 and Xbox One. Think about all that. You think they got a deal? Maybe a little bit. You think they also got a deal on hard drives? You think maybe? Yeah. They can only do 900p. Like, oh well, we try to do 1080 and it's a little bit too rough. That's not good. It's all right, I guess. It makes me wonder what games have to do to go 1080p 60. What would Destiny look like on a PC? What could Destiny do? Like, how downgraded must Destiny be to run it a constant 1080p 30? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. What must be possible with that if there was not we have to develop for consoles that can only do 1080p 60 on these? Maybe. We have to hit that. What would all these games look like if they were just developed for open-ended, powerful hardware, like a PC? If there was no restriction on, well, we got to meet the hardware requirements of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, if there was nothing like that, these games would probably be incredibly beautiful. Just, oh my God. But they've got to hold themselves back to hitting arbitrary benchmarks on already outdated. They were outdated when they were in the design phase. When the PlayStation 4 was drawn up, that hardware was outdated. Sony and Microsoft, here you go. Here you go, consumers, and DRM. The PlayStation 4 only comes with a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Think about this. If you own a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, and I realize we're gaming heavy, we're going to get into some stuff here in a bit. Don't worry. If you own an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, think about how many games you have for it. And how many games in your library can you go right now and say, I want to play Batman Arkham Asylum, let's say, right? And you can go into your library, pick it out, and pop it in, and you're playing it. Bam, there you go. You're Batman doing all the Batman things. Your PlayStation 4 has a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Okay. It requires that every single game, regardless of medium, regardless of whether it's disc-based or digital, it requires that every game be downloaded and installed on the hard drive. MLB The Show, 40 gigs. Advanced Warfare, 50 gigs. Destiny, 45 gigs, something like that. You can only have, if you are a PlayStation 4 gamer, it's going to come around sometime next year. There are going to be many, many, many PlayStation 4 owners who have more games than they can fit on their hard drive. They have to have a rotation of games that they are even able to play. Not just whether they want to play, that they are able to play. Because you have to delete the data on one to make room for the other. If you like playing a launch title, let's say Infamous Second Son, that takes up 50 gigabytes of your 500. That takes up 10% of your hard drive space on your PlayStation 4 ad infinitum. It's always there, can't get rid of it. You have about 10 or 12 games worth of hard drive space on your PlayStation 4. That's as big as your playing rotation can be. There's no such thing as borrowing a game from a friend and playing it and like, oh, well, I'll borrow it again, and I'll have a library of 20 PlayStation 4 games or more. No. You got 12. That's it. Unless you want to take apart your PlayStation 4, and it's not that hard. But unless you want to buy a $150 2 terabyte hard drive and then take your PlayStation 4 apart and put it in, invest another $120 in your already $400 console to make it so that you can hold more than 12 games. This generation of consoles is, I like it. I like my PlayStation 4. I like that it'll work, that I don't have to worry about. I know it will run Assassin's Creed Unity. I know it will. It'll be 900p and crap, but I know it'll run it. I don't know if my rig will be able to run Assassin's Creed Unity on PC, which is one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to buy it, to try to continue a 60 frames per second Let's Play. I'll invest the money if I can do it, but I don't know if I can. Good. This generation of consoles, next gen, kind of underwhelming. Very underwhelming. The Xbox 360 was revolutionary. The PlayStation 3, revolutionary. Hard to program for, but revolutionary nonetheless. These generation of consoles, they were dead on arrival. They were beaten soundly by PCs when they were released. That wasn't the same for the Xbox 360 and PS3. PC gaming in 2000, what was it, 5, 6? Yeah, you know, they were just starting like, hey, maybe we should, there's a lot of processing power. Maybe we should introduce fans on our GPUs. That's what was going on. But now, go look at what a 980 looks like. It's like a space station. My God. And speaking of space, oh boy, this is a huge day for humanity. Now, I don't know whether to call this, I don't know where to put this, but the oh, damn it, I don't know how I should have researched this. The landing unit of the Rosetta space probe or comet probe has officially landed on comet 67P with the Rosetta unit orbiting the huge ass comet. Successfully landed after a 10-year mission, millions of kilometers flown, finally came up behind the comet, orbited it, landed, sending images back. Now there's a question about whether the harpoons actually fired, whether they want to fire the harpoons because there's like claws on the thing's feet that should keep it on the comet. But humanity has landed itself, or at least has landed its technology on a comet. On a comet. They looked 10 years into the future. This mission took 10 years. That's the coolest part. To me, the coolest part is, I mean, it's really cool that we have a landing module that can jettison from a sort of command module and land on some kind of extraterrestrial surface, some gravitational mass. That's cool, but we had that in the 60s. That was what Apollo was all about. You had the command module and you had the lunar module. And the lunar module would jettison from the CM, navigate down to the moon, soft land, and then would jettison itself, go back into lunar orbit to link back up with the command module, and then come on back home. That's what we had in the 60s. So the ability to soft land, all right, that's really cool. The coolest part, to me, is the planning, the math, and the computational power needed to predict a path for Rosetta to take for 10 years that would land this probe where it is today. More than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they started planning for this mission. And they started crunching the numbers and planning and seeing where it would go. And think about that. Think about how many times... Think about where the Earth was in relation to all the other planets 20 years ago, 10 years ago when the thing launched. It's gone around the sun 10 times since then. And think about how many other times, where the planets are in relation now and the gravitational forces and all the things that have to happen and all the other things that have been changing in the solar system and moving through in the decades' time that Rosetta has been on its mission. And they planned that, accounted for it, were in communication with the thing the whole time, and landed it today, and it's sending back messages. That's so cool. And I don't know, the lunar landing, sending humans to something outside of Earth is number one in terms of space technology, in terms of where, as of right now, humankind's mastery of space and time and being able to predict and plan and build and send and return, still that crown is held by the lunar landing. Until we send people to another planet, I would say the lunar landings are number one. Number two, Mars is pretty big compared to Comet 67P. Okay? And we've sent rovers to Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Titan. We've had rovers sent there, and they're there, and the Voyager spacecraft is officially outside of the solar system which is really cool. But we sent something on a 10-year mission to a comet, and it's there now returning back images and data. I'd say that's a close number 2. You could make a strong case for that being number 2 right behind the Mars landings. That's what I would say. That's how big of a deal today's news is. It's just so cool. And I hope that this results in more funding. I hope that this results in a renewed interest in space exploration, specifically government-funded space exploration. And I hope this signals a turn away from stupid crap. Like, oh, I want to be a stockbroker. I want to make a lot of money. I want to be like one of those guys in JP Morgan Chase that committed gross securities fraud in front of a whistleblower and still didn't go to prison and made millions of dollars, perhaps billions of dollars. I want to be like one of those guys. I hope there's a few more people that go, oh, no, screw that. I want to be one of the people in mission control. I want to be one of the guys that's crunching the numbers, doing the math, that puts people somewhere else or puts a thing somewhere else. This is just, it's cool stuff, man. Humanity taking big boy steps, putting the big boy pants on of an intelligent species. Let's stop caring about Israel and Palestine and my God says I should live here, but your God is crap. And screw all that. We sent something to a comet 10 years ago, planned it, did it, it's done, and now we're learning about stuff. Now we may have found the delivery vehicle for the very life that resulted in us on this planet. We may have found that. That may be what Comet 67P represents. That's how we ended up here on this planet. We as in life, not like we like humans showed up like, oh man, Jesus, like we're drunk driving a comet. Holy crap. Oh my God, we made it. Oh, Jesus. All right. Sober up. Oh, God. There's a cop. No, we're good. All right. Ooh. Okay, where are we? Oh, this looks pretty good. It's cool. Let's stop caring. Oh, Putin going into the Ukraine. Screw that. ISIS or ISIL and undeclared wars and da-da-da-da-da-da. Should stop caring about that. All our money should go into this. All of it. Not all of it, but how much do we spend? How much are those bombs costing that we're dropping indiscriminately on civilians in Iraq? How much did that all cost? How much do the drone strikes cost against people who are extrajudicially? That's a tongue twister. Who have their cases adjudicated by a guy flying a drone? How much does that cost? How much does it cost to bomb people that we think are part of ISIS who haven't really attacked America? How much is that? All of that. How much does it cost to house the however many inmates are held in Guantanamo Bay, whom we haven't charged with anything, whom we won't even admit we have? How much does that cost? That should all go to stuff like this. Because one day we're going to have to leave this place, this planet. Maybe for Mars. Maybe we can colonize, I don't know, a moon somewhere. Maybe. But we're going to have to go. May not be out of the solar system, but it might be. We don't know yet. But the fact of the matter is, Earth isn't going to be sustainable. Whether it's because climate change in the near future, lack of raw materials, resources, which would require comet mining, or we just move to another place that has raw resources and materials, or because the fricking sun explodes or swells and boils off the oceans. One of those three things is going to happen, as well as any number of things in between. Earth-killing asteroids, another ice age, something, whatever. We're going to have to go. Bombing Palestine or bombing ISIS and Israel and Palestine fighting and sending money and your mothers and your mama to either aid Israel or Palestine in protecting Israel because they're starting crap all over the place, and we got to protect Israel because a lot of people feel ties for some stupid reason to Israel. None of that's going to matter when the gigantic-ass comet is coming to get you. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter your God. Your God doesn't matter when the gigantic comet is coming to get you or when the earth starts burning or when the sun starts burning out the last of its hydrogen fuel. None of this crap is going to matter. You know what would matter? Our ability to send stuff into space, to go land and colonize and safely do all this stuff. And it starts with Rosetta and these kinds of programs. We need more funding, and it needs to be lionized in the media. These people need to be rock stars. They need to be heralded and treated as true heroes. Veterans Day, Remembrance Day just passed. Those aren't heroes. They're not my heroes. Stop telling me they're heroes. You know who would be heroes? The people who did the work to make colonizing another planet possible. Those are the heroes. All the time, people, cancer patients, making it through the various treatments, you know, they're cancer-free. And they're regarded as heroes. Oh my God, you're so heroic. You've made it through cancer. Well, how about the doctors? Do they get a little something for the effort there? The team of doctors, the team of researchers who devised all the different drugs, all the chemical cocktails, all the treatment programs. Do they get something or no? Oh, well, you were so strong. What about the damn doctors? Same deal. Don't tell me these people are heroes. I need a cough button. imraising.com/643productions. I need a cough switch. Rosetta, the space teams, the scientists, the engineers behind all that, those are the heroes. Those are going to be humanity's heroes. Someday. Maybe not now, but someday. Speaking of heroes of the internet, President Barack Obama playing a little bit of hardball with FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler, releasing a statement saying explicitly that he wants to see broadband internet providers reclassified as common carriers under Title II of the Communications Act. Very strong words from President Obama. And very succinct words to succinctly solve a problem. Because Tom Wheeler, who is a former lobbyist for cable companies, oh my God, claiming now to be an independent agency, an independent administrative agency, is proposing some hybrid crap plan where like the back end is classified under Title II, but the front end communications like the last mile, quote, last mile, are still classified as information carriers, which is basically going to be the same thing. It's going to be status quo. That's what the plan is because, well, broadband providers obviously don't want Title II classification. Reclassification. They don't want to have to provide the same amount of service to Netflix as they do your porn websites or to their websites or to databases that they have interest in. They don't want to do that. They want to be able to extract money from you for the service, and then to get it at the speeds you pay for, they want to extract extra money either from you or from Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu, whomever. They don't care. Whoever's paying, they don't care. They just want payment. Extra, more. Title II reclassification could theoretically ameliorate that problem and allow the FCC to truly enact net neutrality because a judge said you tried to regulate broadband cable providers or broadband internet providers, ISPs, as though they are Title II common carriers. They are not. And if you reclassify them as Title II, then that's the judgment. The judgment says, oh, yeah, well, if they're Title II, there's no fighting it. President Obama came out, said that's what needs to happen. Tom Wheeler, in a call, in a group conference with heads from the likes of Google, Yahoo, etc., said that he doesn't want to do that. Oh, well, I'm an independent agency. I can do whatever the hell I want. So it's looking like, despite the weight of President Obama Despite Obama coming in and say, you should probably, reclassify them because we are like really, really bad at internet. As a country, as a society, we, America, are really, really bad at it. Just bad. We should probably get better. And it starts with reclassifying them as common carriers. Tom Wheeler, coincidentally, Tom Wheeler, I'll say this again, Tom Wheeler knows the ruling. Tom Wheeler, FCC chairman, knows why Verizon won in the appellate court. He knows that. He knows why Verizon is free from the regulations of the FCC. He knows why. He knows why the appellate court ruled as such. He knows why. And he still refuses to reclassify completely internet service providers as common carriers. Anybody care to guess why? Do you think? Because he's trying to make a show of, well, I'm going to regulate them. I'm going to come down hard on them. Not Title II, complete Title II reclassification. Not that, but I'm still going to come down hard on them. He knows that's going to get challenged and lost. He knows that's going to lose. He has to. Either he's inept or he knows. Either he's completely inept at his job or he knows what's going to happen. I don't know Tom Wheeler personally, but I'm guessing you don't get to that position by being completely and utterly stupid. So he probably knows. Yet he's doing it anyway. Does anybody care to venture a guess as to why? Why would Tom Wheeler continue down this path that he knows will ultimately fail? Why would he do that? Tom Wheeler, also former head of a lobbyist group representing big cable, representing broadband internet service providers. That's government. That's live, and that's government, folks. Tom Wheeler, turd, bitch. He's on the I hope you get hit by a bus list. I hope a bus finds him. Buses everywhere. I hope you can hear me. Please, one of you, find FCC President Tom Wheeler. Please. Just a big old city bus doing about 45, 50. Just find him with your front grill and your front and back tires, preferably. Just a big, gigantic turd of a person. And finally, before we wrap up the Lefty Show, got plenty of stuff. We get action-packed, being as how we missed a couple of shows, so no news this time around. Well, I guess the show is basically news and not news. It's just, presented in a different way. But rape allegations have surfaced against another YouTuber. I had the Sam Pepper stuff a couple months ago, and now a YouTube vlogger, a UK guy with 48,000 subscribers, something like that, accused of raping a fan. Not violent rape, as I understand it, but more of like you shouldn't have been having sex with a human that old. You should not have been doing that. And I just want to offer this up because I don't understand it. Because despite what some of you may think, YouTubers, vloggers are not the first young pop stars. They are not the first people to go on tours, party, and sleep with their fans. They are not the first. Certainly not the last, but by far they are not the first. Anybody ever heard of a little band, may have heard of them, called the Beatles? Basically any 80s rock band? Watch the movie Steel Dragon. Great movie, by the way. Or no, it's not Steel Dragon. Sorry, that's the band in the movie Rockstar. Ugh, that was bad. Marky Mark in the movie Rockstar. Fantastic film. I love it. Those people existed. They didn't have Twitter. They weren't YouTube vloggers or pranksters or any of that crap. They had millions of fans, made millions of dollars, continue to make millions of dollars, and went around and all over the country, all over the world for some of these bands. Up, we're in Germany. Up, we're in Stockholm. Oh, we're in Russia. So they did. Fans, all of them. Groupies. Groupies was a thing before YouTube. They slept with the band. Do you think all of them were 18? No, of course not. Of course they weren't. Come on. Think about it. Ask Randy Savage. Well, I mean, you can't anymore, but a couple years ago, ask Randy Savage what he did. Did he go to jail for that? No. Was there a big to-do like, oh, my God, there's an allegation against Motley Crue that they ran train on a 17-year-old. That happened all the time. Maybe, allegedly, sometimes. I don't know. But you're silly if you don't think that there was questionable sex practices surrounding pop stars since time immemorial. People popular in society, questionable sexual acts going on around them all the time. Martin Luther King! Not just infidelity, like weird sexual stuff. Probably some people who alleged rape against him. I'm the king, I'm the king! Do you think all those girls were willing, or was it just, oh, it's Dr. King, he wants to. How did they get out of this? Number one, they weren't a piss. They got, the band slept with them, or a member of the band slept with them. They got money, they got a gift basket, free tickets, something. They were kept happy. Not all of them were underage. In fact, probably a small percentage of them were underage. But the of-age people who were coerced into having sex, plied with alcohol, girls underage, under drinking age, plied with alcohol, plied with drugs, and there were bitches, big smack. Okay, done. Here you go. Goodbye. Here's tickets. Here's a shirt. Let me sign something for you. Here you go. Something different must be happening now. Something different must be happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't even know if these allegations are true. And that's kind of the bad part. Is that everybody's operating, myself included, for the last 5 minutes, operating as though these allegations are true. That it was rape. How do you know it just wasn't, hey, there's my favorite YouTuber? I'm of legal age to drink alcohol. And a lot of these take place in the UK where I'm not familiar with the law. I know drinking age is a lot lower, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, hey, there's my favorite YouTuber. I'm going to go party with him. And now we had sex. He's gooped. And then, oh, man, I didn't like that. Oh, man, I could be a big YouTuber if I told everybody he raped me, that I didn't want to. Oh, man. How do we know that's not happening? But, oh, my God, rape. Here's the thing. YouTubers, don't sleep with your fans. Just don't do it. Do not, okay? Do not sleep with your fans. Just don't do it. Because at some point it's going to hurt you. Whether you're a guy or a girl, don't sleep with them. They may be really nice. They may be really cool. It may be an accident. They may consent. They may be able to consent, et cetera, et cetera. All those things. Don't do it. You're going to get burned. You can find sex elsewhere. Again, whether you're a guy or girl, you can find sex. You can find companionship. You can find romance. You can find a lover. You can find a girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, husband, or wife. You can find them elsewhere. Don't pull from your fan base. Unless you're me, because I did that. But she was 18. She's my girlfriend now. I love her very much. Do as I say, not as I do, you bastards. Because you're going to get burned. One of them's going to allege that you raped them. And people ain't going to believe you when you say, well, they consented. Nobody's going to believe you. I might believe you, but I'm an a-hole, and nobody likes me. And nobody listens to, crazy old bitch, get him out of here. Nobody likes that. He's crazy talk. Let's go back onto the train of and every male is a misogynist, rapist, racist douchebag. That's what they're going to do. You may have consent. You may have not raped them. They may have been able to consent. They may have consented. And all these things, all the things that make not rape. Consensual sex. You may have had consensual sex. Nobody's going to believe you. Save yourself the time. Save yourself the heartache. And perhaps more importantly for some of you, save yourself the money. Because you're going to have to pay somebody to make this go away. Whether it's them or attorneys or whatever. Public relations firm, who knows? Don't have sex with your fans. All right, let's bring it up. Woo! Another great episode of The Lefty Show. I thank you all for joining. I had a great time putting on the show for you. I hope you had a great time listening. Thank you to everybody for watching, liking, favoriting, subscribing on YouTube. YouTube.com/LeftyOX is where you can go to find the show in its YouTube formation. You can also find gaming, vlogging, and podcast content there. YouTube.com/LeftyOX. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show with friends, family, and coworkers, helping it grow. Just share the show. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts for your PC, tablet, or mobile device. Just search The Lefty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe and download all the episodes at your leisure. Thank you to everybody for following me on Twitter at Lefty643. Stay up to date on all the latest and greatest Lefty Show news there. And thank you to everybody for donating to the show. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Help us get a second copy of Ask Creed Unity for PC. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Bye.
Come with me if you want to live.